Matthew and Karine Maynard are designers, blacksmiths, and artists who use metal and architectural space as their medium. They specialize in hand-forged custom stair rails and furniture. Let's travel to Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, and pay a visit to Maynard Studios.
It's something that's kind of, it's visceral. To see that and feel it move, and I don't know, it's very satisfying. It started out as a kid, probably about 12, 13 years old. I had a great interest in a set of books called Foxfire, and my grandfather had this set of books, so I was flipping through it and came across several chapters on blacksmithing, and something about it just clicked. And I really enjoyed reading it, and I imagined myself as being some frontiersman who would, I'm going to make my own rifle one day, you know, or something. But so I had an interest in that at a young age. My grandfather allowed me to set up a little makeshift forge in his barn, and I got to peck around with it. Later in life, I pursued a vocational machining and welding degrees, got those, and got into doing tool and die work. After that, decided to turn what had been a hobby, the blacksmithing, into a living, and I just gave it a shot, and it took off, and we haven't slowed down since. We met at an art festival in 2004. We each had a mutual friend. We decided to attend this festival, and we met there, and actually I guess we hit it off there and had a long distance relationship for a few years until Karine decided to pursue her graduate school at UK. So she moved here from Wisconsin, and then she never moved out.
First thing that Matthew told me was, you can't just come in and draw something if you don't know how to make it. And so that's where I jumped in the shop, kind of, well, then I'm going to learn how to make it. It's definitely sweaty, hot work. You're in front of a forge. You know, they're hammering steel, and Matthew always does the heaviest forging work. So we do have, he's, you know, our master blacksmith. He does the masterful, heaviest pieces. And there's so much other work behind that and support work. So basically my job of coming behind Matthew, welding, and I started a blog. I called it the Stay-at-Home Welder. But the welding, and then the dressing those welds, the finishing, the painting, the paperwork, the bookkeeping, billing, keeping items in stock, our supplies that we need to do this job. There's so much other work behind it that over the years as we've grown, my supporting role is now filled with 3 other full-time employees. So there's 4 of us supporting him now.
Early on, I never viewed myself as an artist. I just viewed myself as a guy who I make stuff. You know, I never put that label on myself. And then
I came in and told him what he was doing was art.
Yeah, and Karine had the formal art training so that she could come in and validate that. And so I've always kind of viewed myself maybe as straddling those 2 worlds between art and the welding and fabrication, because I have that machining background. So that sort of, I still got one foot there, you know, and then I'm under the other foot in the art world. What you're going to see today is a fence that we're working on for a client in Lexington, and it's probably 50 linear feet. It's a stylized tree design, so we have these forms that are obviously trees, but they're a little less literal and a little more free-flowing. We'll be doing some forging using both the hammer and anvil by hand and using the power hammer too, so it'll give you a good overall view of what a typical day might be here in the shop. Sometimes they'll give us more artistic license, and we'll do stuff, especially with there was one railing we did that had a lot of leaves in it, and they said that they're daughter liked to sit and just examine things for hours. So we hid caterpillars and ladybugs in there. And we said, I think there were 6 different creatures, and we said, so there were 6 creatures in here, but you've got to find them and let me know when you find them. And I think the homeowner said that they all stayed up till 3 o'clock that morning until they had them all located. So that was pretty fun to hear that.
Every client approaches us with their own input, and so we don't have a catalog where they say, I want this railing. We design each one for each client, and so they're all so special. They do kind of feel like children.
I don't think there is a best job, because every job's the best one when you're working on it.
Yeah.
And then you get to you see it come to fruition, and you walk away from it and you move on to the next one. So it's really rewarding to see things that are they never existed before we put our hands to the material, and then we work with the client to come up with a design, and through that collaboration we created this thing that should outlive us by a long shot. So that's really rewarding. And then then you get to go and do it again and start all over. So I think that's probably the best job, is the job we're doing.
Whatever we're working on right now.
Yeah.